respected audience, this is your poet, Isokari Ololo. We shall be listening to the 146th poetry and the series titled You Can Prepare Your Gravestone and include as part of the epitaph your birth date, but you cannot include your death date. Pamper the present. Explained by the story. Mr. Dan Peterson sat alone in his room, silently mourning his beloved wife, who died many years ago. Their only child was working in the United States. Since his wife's death, he had become quite eccentric, melancholic, and lived a lonely life. No wedding would he attend, nor funeral. His family hardly saw him, as he gave them no room to visit. Calls on him to marry again after his wife's death only fell on deaf ears. Determined to be of no trouble to anyone, when he died, he had bought himself a coffin and dug a grave not long after his dear loser's death. He kept the coffin in a room and looked at it every day. His funeral insurance scheme was intact and up to date. Not living far from him were some rascals who would steal anything. One night, rather surprisingly, they broke into his home and made away with his precious coffin. In its place, they placed a note which read, "We, the living first, we need this urgently to sell somewhere and survive. May God forgive us, but we, the living first, please." Heartbroken over the loss, Peterson appealed to his daughter in the US to kindly send him money for a replacement. She wondered why her father was so obsessed about his death and needed a coffin when he even had a funeral insurance policy in place. Ever since her mother died 15 years ago, he has lived in his mental world of death, and she thought that her father was slowly killing himself thereby. She therefore decided to rather send a lovely woman whose husband had died and who needed a man to marry, to bring him flowers. Clever idea. When the beautiful woman arrived, his home with the flowers, Peterson brightened up, thinking they were meant for his funeral. He told the woman he appreciated them but was afraid they may wilt before his death. The woman smiled and told him boldly that she had brought them to him as symbolic of the love she had for him. Peterson was startled. Though many had advised him to marry again, no woman had actually come forward as boldly as this one. Suddenly, his heart warmed up and he smiled as he tendered a polite thanks. The woman softly reminded him that he was not yet 50 years old, and she was only 37, and that they could make it together, since they still had a long way to go in life. She spoke with such passion and warmth Peterson never imagined it possible that after staying alone for 15 years, he could still feel such desire for another woman. The beautiful woman assured him that life could be so exciting and beautiful with him again. This made it all happen. Neighbors were surprised that it had to take the loss of his girlfriend for Peterson to live a normal life again. Friends, after their wedding, the message was clear. You can prepare your gravestone and include your birth date as part of the epitaph. But you cannot include your death date. Pamper the present.